Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, a neck-beard psychologist. This is the fastest moving hour and 15-minute podcast on wrestling YouTube right now. And we got a lot going on right now, Don. A big name debuted at Dynamite last night. WWE saves the Indies. Have you heard about that? Ricky Starks, Speaking of the Indies, there's been a Ricky Starks sighting. Eric Bischoff returns to professional wrestling. Can't believe that. Was it 1990? Samantha Irvin makes new friends on social media. Rhea Ripley's out indefinitely. No AEW ratings until tomorrow. And Hulk Hogan's going to be on Jesse Waters tonight on Fox. And the great Adam Cole returns to the ring last night. It's going to be, this show is so chock full of news, Don. Let's get into it. What do you got first?
First, I'm going to give you a Valium to calm your ass down. That's
I'm
first
excited,
on the
Don.
list.
My internet's back.
Thank you all for joining us. We ran into some technical issues for Tuesday's show. Bottle's internet suddenly packed up and left. We couldn't figure out what happened. He's finally back. We're glad to have him. It's good to see your face. I want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. If you're out there, if you're going to go out there later, watch out for those little ghouls and goblins. They can't see you coming, and they're excited because they're all hopped up on Mountain Dew and sugar. So watch out for the kids. Thank you all for watching again. Well, hey, look. When I was a kid, you had to worry about freaking rocks in your candy or pins. Now they're talking about meth and this shit and all. I don't even think about it. But on a good note, everybody have a good trick-or-treating day out there. Happy Halloween. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. The WWE, the rat bastards that they are, have once again done the most dirtiest thing they could have possibly done. These bastards have decided to get they decided, Bottles, to get into the independent wrestling programs and start signing some talent that they don't have in their own filter system, their own system at home. They've already got NXT. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough for you greedy guys, you corporate monsters? WWE's ID is the latest in our efforts to identify and support the journey of up-and-coming wrestlers, in turn raising the profile of strengthening the independent system.
Nice.
And in turn raising the strength of the independent system. That's big news. They have their NXT. That's the homegrown talent. Those are the guys that they find that they want to try to rate, guys and girls, that they want to try to raise and develop. I think this is a big deal. They signed with a few companies. They didn't sign with mom and dad's backyard program. They signed with ex-wrestlers who have reputable schools, that have reputable training systems that they can pluck from there if needed at a later date. And maybe, obviously, there's some sort of a financial gain for these companies as well. It also gives them the shoulder rub when they're getting these independent stars that, hey, you know, we do have that deal with the WWE. There's a chance one day you don't sit here anymore and you go to the major leagues. I thought this was pretty good. I thought this was a really cool idea from them personally. I didn't see this coming. I thought the NXT program was sort of the end-all, be-all for the WWE, and then they surprise you with this. And right on cue, the neckbeards start crying and start complaining. They're just afraid AEW is going to get all of the top talent. Guys, they're no-name independent stars that have a little following. Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
You know, there's quite a story here if you look at the schools, the indie promotions / schools that have signed on. Booker T's Reality of Wrestling down in Houston, Texas. Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory. And you know who they produce talent for, Don?
They used to produce it for AEW.
Yes, they did. Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa. His wrestling school, I guess Becky Lynch is, she's attending the home front there. Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire. And the Knox Pro Academy, owned and operated by Rikishi Fatu.
The one and
He's all on board with this. He loves it.
So now he's a happy
guy. He hates everything. You know how much he hates everything, pal.
I was about to say, how did he not come out and be like, these son of a bitches want to invade my territory? This is bull. I can't believe they're doing this to me. Why doesn't my son have the IC strap? He's yeeting everywhere.
They're booking my son all wrong. I told him he ought to just leave. He ought to just leave. Oh, you want to work with my school? Wow, that's a big check.
Up, pal.
I love WWE. They treat my sons right.
wrestling is such a fickle business sometimes. It sort of makes you go, what the hell, man? But again, I'm happy for this. I thought this was a big deal. We wanted to cover this on Tuesday, but we got sidetracked.
Yes.
There's a little bit more to get into. The neckbeards crying is really what got my attention. I couldn't believe the fake outrage they wanted to have over this whole thing. It was laughable. Just, ha, man, laughable.
It was just the absolute shits. They're already turning on Speedball. Supposedly, Speedball Mike Bailey is
he the new indie darling?
He's the new indie darling that's going to be involved in this program. Also, Speedball Mike Bailey, Hollywood Haley J has said, sign me up. I think she's going to be factoring into this WWE ID program. A lot going on, Don. A lot of moving parts to all this.
There are.
Wait till see how everything's in place to see how it all shakes out. I'm sure everybody's got their favorites. Seth Rollins has some students he's going to push. Booker, Booker's he's cranking them out. A lot of people in wrestling today that you see on television came from the reality of wrestling promotion. From Booker T. Can he stop doing that on NXT, by the way?
I don't watch NXT enough to know how he sounds.
Buddy,
so I'm just gonna comment on
you would, oh my God. You put pencils in your ears when he's doing color commentary.
It can't be any worse than the trash we hear on Wednesdays. It just cannot. I do not believe that's possible. Well, look, if he is, you'll be serving hard times.
Hard times.
Got my boss man shirt tonight. Love the boss man.
Hard times.
I want to get to another little bit of news. You brought it up. Eric Bischoff is going to join MLW at MLW One Night Shot in New York. So good for him. He's back in the wrestling news. I think
December
that's,
5th.
Good for Eric. Look, love him, hate him, don't care either way. Eric Bischoff is one of the biggest influencers in wrestling history. Like it or not, that's what he was. He changed the game. He signed Hogan. He brought in everybody. He made WCW relevant again in the late 90s. It was, if you didn't see this live, what a time to be alive in the wrestling world.
Yes.
Eric Bischoff, I still think, has some creative ideas. I think most of those days, I think he's put it behind him. But every now and then you'll see him do something like this, and I think it's good for him and the business.
Okay. Does this signify something bigger?
No.
Does this signify that he's actually going to try this to get his toes wet? And if he likes it, he'll be a permanent part or in some promotion somewhere?
No. This is a one-time deal.
You think it is?
I think it's just a one-time I'm coming in.
You can watch it on YouTube December 5th. Court Bauer is the guy that owns MLW, and it's going to be live at the Melrose Ballroom.
She was wearing Melrose that night, I remember.
Our eyes met across the smoke-filled room. She reeked of Melrose.
And vodka.
I said, what brings you to Singapore?
She said, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. I'm here to see Michael. I said, he's down that way. Down the hall, 2 doors to the right.
Again, thanks everybody for showing up tonight. We appreciate it. Sorry for the technical issues earlier this week. We are now going to keep trouncing through this news because there's so much.
Are we going to keep talking about my internet? Are we going to? Why?
We are.
Just let it go.
I'm just saying we're glad. I said we couldn't have a show Tuesday.
Let it go.
I don't give a shit anymore.
Ixnay on Ricochet. Okay? We're trying to
Rhea Ripley's hurt, Rhea Ripley is hurt for real. This isn't a work. She really did fracture her orbital bone. Rhea Ripley will be out for the indefinite future. This is not good because she just came back from an injury. This is sort of what happens, Bottles. We've talked about this before. It's no shot at the women, but she's a very physical performer. She doesn't need to be involved in every show in an angle where she's getting roughed up or roughing somebody up. I feel bad for her. She is a top draw for this company. She's a reason to watch on Mondays. Oh, my. Yeah.
There she is. Did she say it was the right orbital bone?
Isn't she lovely?
Right up here, I guess, the right orbital bone where you can't see my cursor, but right up there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm guessing.
It's but she's out, and the part about this whole thing that got me was the immediate knee-jerk reaction from every idiot on the internet was, it's obviously a work, bro. Come on, she can't possibly be hurt again. And guess what? She's really hurt again.
She's really hurt again. She can't fly. She couldn't fly to Raw to do an angle where they took her out. So they had to do an NXT because she lives in Orlando by NXT. And that's where they did it, in the NXT parking lot. And if you ever follow NXT, Don, I know you don't, but stay out of the NXT parking lot because you're always getting your ass kicked. People are always getting their asses beat. I'm serious. It's a trope that they use right now it's a comedic effect. Oh, somebody got beat up in a parking lot again, laying behind a car. Referees
It's
run
always
outside.
that way, though.
Oh,
It's always that way.
Oh,
So I'm just saying, like, I feel bad for her. I hope she gets better soon. That's all I'm saying.
yes. Yes, Don.
She's one of my favorite performers. It's just she's a tough girl, but you can't expect her to go out there and do this every week. Am I wrong on that? Like, you
You're
can't
not wrong,
expect
Don.
that every week. Okay.
You're not wrong. But she's only had one match on regular
I
television
know.
this year.
I know.
Which is kind of ridiculous. But
Well, it makes you wonder, is she training too much? Is she working out too much? Because that can happen. You can have fatigue and you can make your bones weaker that way. If you're lifting this weight, I don't know if you saw or not, and this is the God's honest truth. There was an NBA game this week where the player was running down the court, just running, went to stop. His leg snapped in half on the court, just jogging. He went down immediately. The leg was laying, see if I can get it like this. It's like, oh, that's not good. That
like a
is
Sid
not
Vicious
good.
type of break.
Dude, it really was. It was like, my God. And all he was doing was just jogging. It just shows you the wear and tear you put on your body being an athlete. This shit can get to you eventually.
Well,
It's just
I mean,
horrible.
it does. It speaks to maybe not enough calcium in the diet, osteoporosis. Bryan Danielson has osteoporosis, and he's a vegan. So I don't know what's going on with these athletes. I'm no athlete, but you know.
But you know.
But you know.
Anyway,
Moving on.
that's bad news. I feel bad about that. Liv Morgan has signed a new 5-year deal that will make some internet wrestling fans very happy. Jimmy C81, you're welcome. I know he's going to be a happy guy. It's one of his favorite performers. So she's back. There she is. I got arrested in Florida.
She was on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, and did a lengthy interview on there. And she said the arresting officer who booked her said, "Your mugshot's great. It's going to go viral because it's such a good one." Look at that.
You want to know
now-
what's crazy about Liv Morgan? And I got to
What's
ask
that?
you this because you wear glasses.
What's that?
Why are spectacles from the 50s and 60s coming back in style? That nerdy look. She wears them all the time.
She does.
You ever seen
she
her?
Does.
She wears them all
I've
the
s-
time.
There's a couple that she. I think maybe I got a picture of her up here. Let me take.
Well,
that
maybe you
down
do.
so
We'll
we-
find it later. But yeah, it's odd to me that she wears them. But she's got a 5-year
Dude, I got it right
extension,
here.
so-
I got it right here.
Oh, this was her with the 2 dirty doms? Yeah, those
Look at those things.
spectacles. Somebody explain. You know what we call those in the military?
What's
Birth
that?
control glasses, because you weren't getting laid wearing them bastards.
Who was the stadium announcer in baseball? What was the guy? Harry Carey?
Harry Carey, yes.
She's got Harry
Those
Carey
are-
glasses.
She does have some Harry Carey specs on right there. BCGs, pal. BCGs.
This is actually a picture from Ron Killings, R-Truth's Twitter account. He said, "Tom and Nick, finally, I see a picture of you guys together." Tom and Nick. Hey, man, I can't find you on social media. Tom and Nick
Ron-
Mysterio.
Dude,
This
Ron
is actually
Killings-
Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who wrote and performed in the musical on Broadway and in the theaters, Hamilton. The guy on the right here in the white and purple is Lin-Manuel Miranda. Who would have thought the guy is actually a wrestling fan? But I digress.
Hey,
Moving
there's
on.
a lot of wrestling fans out there, pal, that don't want you to know about it. They watch in secret like a dirty little closet watcher. It's kind of weird about that. By the way, thanks for
little-
watching. Like and subscribe our
Dirty.
dirty little channel. They're
I
watching.
mean, what's a dirty little closet watcher?
You know. I know. I tell you who does know. DDP knows very well.
Yes.
Google it,
And,
kids.
Bubba
We're
the
doing-
Love Sponge. Bubba the Love
Yes.
Sponge knows too.
Yes, he does.
Let's not go into that.
Wardlow was backstage at WWE or at AEW Dynamite. Almost put him there already, but he was there backstage. So I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know what the plans are for him, but he was there, and that's kind of a shocker because he hadn't been there in a while.
Allegedly, he was hurt, and there's no timetable for his return, according to Pro Wrestling Insider, one of the few dirt sheet sites that you could actually believe.
You know, for that guy, and I hate to say it, but that's another guy that's hurt all the time, man. Like, he's forever injured. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, damn, dude, what are you doing in your spare time to get hurt like this all the time?
Well, look, you've got big guys wrestling little guys who move real quick, and the big guys have to keep up with all these different spots the little guys are doing, and they tear a ligament, or you could be like Powerhouse Hobbs, where he went to give somebody a knee in a corner, and he hit the turnbuckle and blew his knee out. That's why he's been out for the longest time. But I heard Hobbs is coming back. He's on his way back.
Well, good. I like to see him return so he can come back and get put at another shitty angle and powerbomb guys 3 times and then leave in 3 months and we don't see him again for half a year. Rinse and repeat.
All right, then.
Also in the news.
Yes.
Samantha Irvin leaving. We were going to talk about that Tuesday, and it sort of set the internet on fire. Because she even said in one of her posts, like, I've never been a heel. Let me enjoy this for a little while. Because she started saying some things that were, it wasn't really derogatory, but she was venting some frustrations is the best way that I can put it. You mentioned to me on the phone a week ago that you had heard she was not happy because she wanted to be more of a talent and not so much a ring announcer. That was her initial reasoning for getting into the business. And I said, okay, I hadn't heard that. That's a good inside scoop. I hope she talks about it. Here we are a week later, and she's saying, look, I wanted to do those things. Go ahead. You got something to say. I can tell. You're biting at the chalk.
She said that her reasons for her exit, including her desire to pursue outside projects, in addition to wanting a more favorable schedule, which is key. These are key words. Wanting a more favorable schedule in order to be at home with her daughter. So she only worked ring announcing 1 night a week. Just saying, Don. In her Instagram comments, she revealed more details as to why she may have parted ways with WWE, responding to post replies accusing her partner, Ricochet, of being behind her departure. She says, I don't like announcing. I'm serious. Announcing was only supposed to be my way in. I wanted to manage, maybe even become a general manager one day. General manager Samantha Irvin. But WWE saw no other future for me besides announcer. I love watching the action, but I don't love being an announcer. Another reply also made the claim that Ricochet was a reason for her exit, to which she responded that her husband was a millionaire. A millionaire, Don.
I hear you.
Now he is. So she didn't have to do a job that she didn't like anymore. In reports, it was stated that Irvin was hoping to follow her passion for music, of course, among other things, after failing to come to an agreement with WWE for her to work outside projects. Undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes recently commented on her resignation, and Cody says, as I get redirected to another page, Cody says, and that page has been removed. Okay.
Well, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. Look, here it is.
Doesn't
Again,
matter.
the neckbeards coming unglued. The WWE neckbeards. It's not just AEW. Oh, she's so mean. Why would she say these things? It just shows you can't make her happy. Guys, she wanted a different role. She said what she had to say. I got no problem with it. Bottles to you. Let the woman be happy. And you and I have very differing opinions on this. I 100% do not believe we will see her in AEW ever. Definitely not anytime soon, if ever, I should say. Because I truly believe she's got other things she wants to do.
Here's a cornucopia of Twitter tweets. I'm not going to put them on screen. I'm just going to read them to you. Suppose you like to live off the Twitter paycheck now, considering Ricochet gets paid in pizza crusts. She says, crazy you think he was making more money at WWE. And someone said WWE pays their talent what they're actually worth. She says, he's not their talent. No offense, but you were perfectly fine as an announcer and not a fake GM. She says, perfectly fine and ready to move on. I don't like ring announcing. She says, I don't like ring announcing. She said to the guy. Is it mandatory to jump on social media and bash WWE once you leave? She said, I know you ain't talking about me. Someone said, nah, F her. She could have just left, but now she's burning bridges and ruining every moment she was a part of. She said, F everyone who harassed my husband and said I was leaving at AEW, actually. And someone said, that bee ain't cooked anyone or anything in her life. And she responds with a screenshot of her with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-course meal she cooked, allegedly. Someone said, you're just a soft, fragile grifter, just like your man.
Oh, my dude.
I didn't say they wouldn't let me. I said they saw no future outside of announcing. That's what happens. This is crazy. He's blaming my husband for my departure. I responded with the truth. I left because I don't see myself as an announcer. That's it. Why do I have to use different wording? Why do people want to control me so badly? And someone said she should sing about how she quit her dream job over some D, even though she was
all
the
right.
breadwinner.
That's enough of the trolls. That's enough of the trolls, Paul. Seriously,
they were lighting her up.
That's what I'm saying. Though.
In kind.
It's these losers, man. Get a life, you clowns. By the way, the super chat is open. You are welcome to join us. Awful Wrestling. Hey, love you, pal. Thanks for watching, Awful. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, love you, man.
Awful's here.
Awful.
We're still marks. Phil.
Awful Wrestling, by the way. If you don't follow him on Twitter and you're a wrestling fan, you should. Guy's got great content. We appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on, man. I really appreciate that. It's a big shout out to you. We appreciate you following us.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're not following Awful Wrestling on Twitter and you're an old school wrestling fan or you just don't like the product you see at AEW, that's an account you need to be following. So I'm just saying. So we need to start talking about Awful Wrestling. AEW show was last night and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. And thank you, by the way, again, super chats are open. If you got something to say, let us know.
As I check the Awful Wrestling account to see if any ratings have come out.
They have not.
They have
not.
And as he said, the number must be embarrassing.
Yes, it must be. So, and I'm going to go with him on that. I'll agree with him.
Yes.
They had 3,500 people roughly at this AEW show last night in Cleveland, Ohio, and a building that holds 19.4 thousand people.
Sure.
You had 3,500. And when it kicked off, I said, I don't know if this is a crowd issue or a building issue, but it was quiet. It was way too quiet for a show of this caliber. We've been saying it for a year, Bottles, now. Why do they continue to run these big-ass arenas with these small crowds? It would be so much better aesthetically and sound-wise if you would put them in a building better served for what they have out there. So it's one of those deals. You go show them the crowd. I think this was from Usi, wasn't it? Usi posted this.
I can let you know in a second when we're done playing.
I believe it's Usi. I mean, they're hanging from the rafters, pal.
Well, there's the hard cam over on that side, of course. What are you playing that for? Everybody's it's intermission. Everybody's
because it ain't filling up much
t-shirts.
more than that. That's why.
It's not. No, it's not. So
let's get
it's
this
a sad
thing started
state of
off.
affairs. You know, if the live attendance is down and the ratings are down, and they're still spending more and more money because he's got it to. I mean, he could wipe his butt on $100 bills if he wanted to, $1,000 bills if he wanted to.
I get that, but why waste the money?
Why have everyone can see this? It's a failed promotion. TNA had Bound for Glory, I believe that was the name of it, last weekend. 8,000 people showed up for that. For
and
TNA.
Awful gave us $2, so he was responding to you. Apparently, they have delayed 25% capacity. Rita had 13.6. When I looked it up, it said it had 19.4. So that's just what I was reading last night. That's what I read about.
Set it up, Don, for 13.6. You'd have these wrestling companies work.
Yeah,
I'm feeling optimistic today. Mercedes,
3,500. We almost made it. All right, let's talk about
almost made 13,000. Go ahead.
There was a short. Did you notice that the Big Bang Theory is short? It's really short. The last couple shows it's been short. The lead-in has, and that's
usually
really
it's about a 4-minute lead-in, Don. Usually a 4-minute lead-in.
It usually is a much longer lead-in. That sort of got my attention when this started. Right. Is the last few shows have been shorter, and it's sort of starting to explain also why that first quarter hour is jumping off a cliff like a damn cliff diver in Mexico. It's just going straight in, pal, and it ain't coming back up. That's as high as it's going to get.
Not good at all.
No, it is horrible. And the opening felt very...
Hang on a second. I got to take this crowd shot just scrolling endlessly back and forth.
Okay.
Playing
but
back.
I was going to say...
It's so depressing. It's depressing.
The opening felt very, and this is just me, but did you get this vibe too? The opening of AEW last night felt very Halloween circa 1990s type wrestling show with the spooky and this is bad and oh my God, this is corny as shit. Like, aren't we past this as wrestling fans? Halloween Havoc has been gone a long time, and Halloween Havoc was special, but it got to the point where it became dorky and corny, and this thing opened up like a WCW show to me. It felt old and had.
These guys don't realize that 10-year-old kids aren't watching AEW. They're not. They're just not. It barely 15-year-old kids are barely watching AEW, but they want to fight about it on social media. This is all just, I mean, the demographic for professional wrestling is, what did we say it was, Don? 35 to 54.
Well, that's the paying demographic. I think the actual viewing demographic is a little bit lower, but that's the paying demographic. That's where they get most of their money because people like you and me are taking our kids and grandkids to go watch these shows. And I ain't going to this shit. And I know you're not going to this shit. So
no.
That's the paying demographic. Anyway, we opened this thing up with a Cracker Clan recap of last week and how that thing ended. And out comes Pockets in all black. Did you notice he was in all black? Because I guess it's Halloween, or maybe he's trying to be the bad guy. I don't know what the hell this was.
He thought he's in
Pockets.
Mourning. He's in mourning for Chuck Taylor.
He drug my friend out of here. And then he goes on and proceeds to cut a promo that only Pockets could cut with very little charisma. His eyes, when he takes some glasses off, it looks like he's been on a bender for 3 days of some substance that I can't name. He just looked at me like he waddled out of a damn ditch that morning and decided to show up at work. He says, I'm not a leader, and I watch my best friend get crushed. It's always the best friend with this company. It's always my best friend got his ass beat. It's always my best friend turned on me. And if it's not the best friend angle, then it's always that I used to live in my car or we rented a shitty apartment or a house. It's always the same thing with this company. It can never be about money or a title or I just don't like you. It's always one of those things. I was sleeping in my car and I saw you beating the shit out of my friend and I got really mad. So now I'm here. Every time with this stuff, man. It's the same story. Keep going.
Meanwhile, the backstage interviewer's husband is walking around in the desert like a psychopath, talking to a camera, hopping in the back of a truck where it's 4 guys and 1 girl. What's going to happen there? Driving out of the desert into the arena, and they're all wearing white shirts.
I heard it with them saying, would you like to sit on this couch? We'd like to audition you.
And no one questions her. No one says anything to her. I'm not even going to go there. No one says anything to her about why is your husband a psychopath? Why is the Moxley Plumbing Company beating everybody up in this place? They're picking on Evil Uno. They're picking on Little John Silver.
This drives you crazy that no one ever approaches her. Notice she never interviews him, though, so at least they keep it away from that. But that drives you
What does someone say to Roderick Strong? What is that woman that you married? Has she forgotten the English language? She's speaking in tongues on live TV a couple of weeks ago, right to the camera. I thought we didn't know her. Now we know her. And she's beating up men. What is going on here?
That's the part that bothers me.
Roderick Strong's a happy idiot screaming at him in the background.
This gets better because, again, back to this promo. Pocket says, I was surrounded by the future of AEW, and they're in danger and don't know it. If that's the future of AEW that was out in that parking lot last week, we're in big trouble. We're in big damn trouble because I didn't see a single star in any of this stuff. By the way, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. The super chat is open if you've got something to say. I'm going to finish this up real quick.
It looked like a bar fight, Don. It looked like a bar fight was going to break out outside of the Star Wars cantina. That's what it looked like. A whole gaggle of imbeciles standing out there holding yardsticks, metal pipes, clotheslines, whatever. Just standing out there.
Rods. That's what they were doing. Did you notice during this interview what was the lighting of this building? Did you notice the staircases going up in the stadium were like weirdly blacked out with the banners or some weird shit?
Sure,
Did
several
you
people
notice
fell
that?
down those stairs trying to get a taco. They're trying to. A guy dropped a whole nacho platter and 6 beers coming down those steps. It was horrible, Don. They're trying to hide it, is what they're doing. They're trying to hide it. They're hiding. It's creative lighting. They can barely move the cameras around, and now they've got to turn all the lights out. And if they were smart, they would turn up the sound for the crowd. They turn up the crowd
something.
box.
Do something.
Everything sounded horrendous. When Private Party won the tag belts.
We're not there yet. We're not there.
But I'm just saying, people know it already.
Okay.
They probably read it on Twitter. Private Party won the tag belt. You think they're coming here to hear news? Oh, I can't wait to hear what happened to AEW. Don and Johnny are going to tell us. They already saw it.
Hold on. You know what we get all the time? I'm not watching this shit. I'm glad you guys are talking about it because I'm not putting myself through that.
I don't even want to watch it.
I don't either.
I said to Don on the phone today, I said, dude, watching this show has become such a chore. Such a effing chore. It's horrendous. It makes no sense. It's like fairy tales about professional wrestling. None of it makes any sense. But go ahead, Don.
No, and it doesn't make any sense how Pockets got in the middle of this. I don't understand why he's suddenly the white knight that's got to show up and beat everybody. It makes no sense. Again, we've been trying to figure this out.
It's a plumber facing a Gap employee. That's what it's like.
Anyway, he challenges Jon Moxley. We're going on from there. And I just wrote down, this crowd is dead silent because here comes Renee Baguette comes out to interview Monet and Camille. And this dude, if there was a charisma sucking vacuum on this show, it's Mercedes Moné. She is a charisma sucking vacuum.
She thinks she's still riding off that Sasha Banks love from the WWE. She still thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. She is horrendous.
Did you just bring back the 80s comment? Did that just happen?
I did. Almost said it.
Almost.
I saw my sign here. No profanity. My Post-it note. I'm going to put that sucker right underneath this camera. Right there. No profanity. No profanity, pal. That can make a difference in 19 cents on YouTube. No profanity.
Anyway, this was just cringeworthy. I said, I can't.
I haven't said enough about Mercedes Moné sucking.
Oh, I think you said plenty.
Dude, the dance and the outfit and the chant CEO piped in. I mean, how much more can we say about this woman? She's horrible. Horrible.
And then you've got this
she doesn't even
Amazon woman next to her, but you've got this Amazon freak next to her, and she's dying on the vine being her idiot. So
they ruined her.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get there. Go ahead.
Because I couldn't wait to talk about this Adam Cole Buddy Matthews match. My God in heaven. As soon as they got in the ring together and faced off, I said, this looks absurd on the face of this entire thing. Cole has got on huge lifts on his shoes. Did you notice the lifts on his shoes?
Yes, I did. And I also noticed he's got some sort of liver jaundice. He looks horrendous. He looked yellow. He looked like the dirty yellow dog, Daddy.
It was bad. I said, this looks absurd on the face. Cole has huge lifts. And then Cole tried to shoulder block Buddy Matthews, who has him easily by 120 pounds. And here's what got me is that Adam Cole, I'm being more nice here. Yes. I'm just saying. But here's the thing. Adam Cole didn't go down on this first shoulder tackle. He just stood there and looked at him like, oh, what the hell was that? It's just bad. I said, this isn't looking good at all. And then the second time they did it, he finally did it. He went down, and then they did 10 shoulder tackles in a row where nobody went down. Did you see the absurd on the face of this? What I'm saying sounds absurd.
I was strapped into the couch like the guy in Clockwork Orange. I had my eyelids propped open so I couldn't look away. I had to watch this show and all the farcicalness, the stupidity of this show, that a 11-year-old yellow boy with greasy hair took on Buddy Matthews, an accomplished 270-pound professional wrestler. 11-year-old boy did this. It's Halloween, Don. A little boy came to the ring and fulfilled his dream of dressing up as Adam Cole and wrestling in a professional wrestling match. That's how I went to look at it. And then I saw that Adam Cole kicked out of a power bomb.
We're going to get there. I'm not there yet.
We're not there yet. Please speed this up because I'm just, I want to go outside and slap somebody's kids out in the street right now. That's what I want to do.
Brother Fluff just had that moment. I saw a kid dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog carrying his mask walking down the sidewalk. Jim Cornette and I proceeded to cuss him out for breaking kayfabe. Thank you, Brother Fluff, and I hope the family's doing well, pal. I hope the family's doing well.
Yes. Keep us updated.
Keep you in our prayers, buddy. Keep us updated on that. That's a pretty good. And thank you for the super chat. That's pretty good. What the hell are you doing, Sonic? Get his ass, Jimmy.
I do like the icon with the flames, the fluff.
Yes, it is. It is cool.
The flaming fluff.
So we're going to keep going down this match. Cole starts milking the injury. And then they get outside of the ring. This is what got on my last nerve, man. The ref is outside the ring with Adam Cole and a doctor. And you can tell it's past absurd at this point in time, right? Did you hear the crowd counting? Even the AEW crowd is like, this is getting absurd that the ref is intervening in the wrestler's health. It's a count out by now. The crowd was counting 10 and the ref starts going, no. Even the AEW diehards are like, bullshit.
The AEW refs and doctors now have taken a page out of the Aubrey Edwards playbook. We will not be on camera all the time. We'll be on camera every chance we can. It'd be great if you had me there at ringside with my stethoscope. I'll do a stern, what's that? The sternum massage.
I thought you were going to say the rectal thermometer.
The rectal thermometer. That too.
But again, and this is where it got worse, is that he gets back in the ring and we get a second doctor spot where he's got to check on him. We get a second one.
When Adam Cole was in NXT, he was made to work out. He was made to do drills. Now, all he wants to do is Twitch stream. You can tell he doesn't even want to tan anymore because they sprayed him down with some ungodly solution backstage, which was rubbing off. And he was all streaky when he left. He looks horrible. And nothing he does in the ring anymore is believable. You can't get invested in this. Professional wrestling, when you watch a wrestling match, you should be emotionally invested in the match if you got a favorite dog in that fight, right?
Yeah.
I just want to see if you're still awake. I'm going on a tangent. If I get in the woods of the weeds, pal, pull me back in. But
here's what got in the woods.
I can't get invested in anything this company does.
And here's what made it worse. Cole takes 2 finishers and kicks out at 1.
Yes.
And then they show MJF in the back like he's watching from Adam Sandler's house. What are we doing here? Why
does MJF have a satellite hookup, a T1 line into his house so he can see the live feed of AEW Dynamite? Why? Why are we doing this?
I can't explain these questions that you ask.
There's no heat to any of this. There's no heat to an MJF Adam Cole feud. No heat whatsoever. One guy was the good guy. The other guy was the bad guy 4 months ago. And now the bad guy's the good guy. The good guy's the bad guy.
And we're going to talk about that in a little bit because I'm not going there yet. Show, I know, but I'm saying I can't wait to talk about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, Buddy Matthews loses. The lights go out. Malachi Black's in the ring, and I guess he's the next guy that's going to lose to Adam Cole. Why not? Why not put over this? Why not put the faction over that's bigger than this guy? No, we're going to put down the small midget guy, the vanilla midget, as Kevin Nash called him. We're going to put him over these jacked professional wrestlers.
I got one theory. Don, on this.
Is it the goat one?
No. Not the goat boy Mortos. No.
The pictures of the goat and Tony Khan.
No. The theory that I have here is Adam Cole selected these 2 guys to do tune-up matches with, coming back because they don't have house shows. Come back and do a couple tune-up matches with guys that I've worked with in WWE NXT. I know they're not going to hurt me.
By the
What do
way,
you want him
thank
to
you for
do?
watching.
Wrestle Roosh? That would be a spectacle. To wrestle Roosh. Roosh would beat his ass.
He ain't selling shit, pal.
Roosh is not selling, and he will stiff you as much as look at you. That's just the way he operates. You know you were in the ring when you wrestle Roosh. He said that in an interview.
Anyway, we're moving on because that's next.
Moving on.
We get Renee Baguettes in the back with PP and Old Man River explaining to them how this match could destroy them if they lose to the Young Bucks. And I said,
Wait
holy
a second.
shit.
Old Man who? Wait a second. Time out. Renee Baguette
is with PP. She's interviewing PP.
Private Party.
Yeah, no, they're just PP now.
PP? Okay.
Yeah. And Old Man River comes in and
Who's
says,
Old
you
Man
know,
River?
your favorite Timu guy. You call him something else. I'm calling him Old Man River. Think hard. Who's the GM for this show, for this shit show?
Oh, Dollar General Adam Pierce.
Yes, that's who was back there.
You threw me off with Team You guy. See, I've watched this show and I've forgotten so much about it because I hated it so much. It was a chore to watch. It was garbage.
Well, this is where it gets better because we get one of the big commercials in this thing. And I wrote, holy shit, there's a Japanime wrestling cartoon coming out. Oh my God. This is right up AEW's alley.
With a girl. The girl wants to be a wrestler.
Of course. Oh yeah. That's going to be absolutely tuned in time. Happy socks
miss
for these
that,
idiots. Don. Oh yeah.
Can't miss that, Don.
They go to Cole backstage. And he's with the doctor for the third time. We now have our third doctor. And he's trying to explain this trash storyline. And he continues to say the AEW locker room is great. He loves it here. The locker room is great. This company's great. And I turned on you before.
They all do it.
But he's like, I turned on you before you could turn on me because we all know you're evil. And I was getting ahead of you because I wasn't going to be the whole face of this story, the whole storyline itself sucks. On the face, it sounds utterly absurd. And when you have to start trying to explain it the way he was trying to once again reiterate why he is now the face, it doesn't help your cause. Just admit this was a bad idea and make the leap back and do something else, I guess. But they're not going to back out of this. We're going to pedal to the metal and go with this idiotic storyline until it crashes into the fence. We're going to go. You all right?
I'm hearing these dogs in the background.
Yeah, I hear them. They're not happy about this storyline either.
They're
this was
pissed off
just
too.
Complete trash.
I'll be right back, Don. I got to go check this out. My wife's not here. I'll be right back.
All right. We will join Johnny Bottles later. I'm going to keep going with this show. Timu Randy Orton comes out. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Kyle Fletcher. And I said, I got to watch this. And I said, the dude's got more sleeve tats. And I was making a joke about Randy Orton before. I think this guy's really trying to turn himself into Randy Orton. He's shaved his head. He's gotten rid of the blonde hair. He's trying to get this badass look. And there's some guys that can shave their hair, and it's a good look for them, right? They shave their head. They look like a tough guy. They look like a badass. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he looks awesome. He had a good look about him. Randy Orton, like I said, he had a look about him. John Cena wasn't bald, but he had a very tight haircut. He looked great. This dude ain't got the head for that. I don't know if you guys were paying attention or if you saw him, but that head ain't made to be shaved close. It ain't made to have that kind of a slick haircut. It ain't made to have that fade that Johnny Bottles has got going on. It just doesn't. And out comes some guy named Mark Davis. I don't know who the hell this guy was, and I don't care either. This whole thing went nowhere. And I quoted this. I said, and then Kyle to end the video says some dumb shit. And I was out. I don't care what Kyle's doing. That haircut's not working. That look's not working. Getting tatted up more is not working. Nothing is working with this Kyle Fletcher going right now. And he's got a look, and they are completely ruining this guy.
Aussie Open was the name of the tag team that Kyle Fletcher was in with this guy, Mark Davis. Mark Davis came out like everyone knows who he is. Like everybody.
No one
right?
knows.
You see his face right away. Yeah, oh, there's Mark Davis. People in the crowd said. No one knows who the hell he is. It would have been nice if they would have just done interview backstage and talk to Mark Davis first. And then when Callis and Fletcher were out there, Davis could have stormed out and approached him for whatever good that will do to get you to remember who he is. It was horrible.
I'll never remember this guy because I'm not going to try to remember this guy because it's not worth my time.
Of course not. You must be ready to come back.
All. Thank you all for watching.
Over a year.
Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Super chat is open if you got something to say because I can't wait to talk about Renee Baguette interviewing the Eye of Sauron because that was an interesting moment again. He says, Jay White doesn't know his strategy and I will leave you behind like everybody else. So I guess the Eye of Sauron is going to fight Jay White at the next pay-per-view. So we'll see where this goes.
Okay. Who is the Eye of Sauron?
Adam Page. Because that one eye is getting worse and worse, pal. And I don't know which one's watching everything right now. I do not know.
He could do an interview and look at the camera with one eye and read the teleprompter on the other.
It's getting worse.
The cue cards.
I wish I joke, but I wish that guy would see somebody for real.
Yes. God bless him.
And here comes my favorite part of the night. The Cracker Clan is here. And they all come out. And the way they all came walking down the hallway it was just laughable the whole time it started. Your favorite wrestler, what's his name? Shit, man, I can't think. Wheeler Yuta.
Wheeler Yuta.
So I got to tell this story. So I put out a little tweet last night. I made fun of this. I literally said this guy's trying to do a John Travolta walk. And Dave Meltzer says what? Great Twitter account to follow. I'll tell the story in a minute. Block Larry says with those eyes, he ain't seeing anybody. And I would agree. So I put out the account last night and about Wheeler Yuta. Meltzer says Wheeler Yuta looks like the guy that walked into the women's lingerie department, didn't realize it, and then realized it, and then tried to walk out like he meant to do it.
Yes.
I don't know why, but that popped the shit out of me. If you're a grown man of our age, we've all walked into that shit on accident, not realize we walked into it. If you're at a Pennies or a Sears, you're like, oh, no. No. I look like a pervert now. But anyway, this whole thing happened. John Moxley was literally dancing like John Travolta in Saturday Night Live when he was doing his boogie walk. That's how he was walking. And he
you're absolutely right.
He thought it made him look tough. He looked like John Travolta. Help me here. Was I alone in this thought?
Dude, I guess he was going for like a badass walk or an arrogant walk. He walked like a man that was drunk.
Dude, he literally went.
He did. He did. He thinks he is the savior. Literally, I think he actually thinks he's the savior of AEW in real life. He thinks he's their top star now, that Danielson's gone or doing whatever he's doing right now. And the Wheeler Yuta thing, the Wheeler Yuta experiment is over. It's over.
It gets worse because they get in the ring and Moxley says, I'm ready to die in this ring. Cassidy, you bring your ass out here. I'll show you how serious I am. And he shows him how serious he is. He says, all right, you're not coming out. And he grabs Wheeler Yuta, puts him in the chair to get his enemy to come out. Why would you hurt the guy in your own faction to get... I'm telling you, man, this is when I was like, you're losing me, and the notes are going to get short because it's getting worse and worse as this is progressing.
I guess the Dark Order was off last night. That's why. You couldn't get like John Silver out there or Evil Uno out there to have a chair around his neck and get his ass beat. It's just horrible. It's awful. Horrible. No one cares about Wheeler Yuta. Have you heard the crowd? If you would have heard the crowd. If you could have heard Yes.
Oh,
they were just excited to see something. They wanted to see something, anything that would have been entertaining at least, more so than that drivel that they got for the last 40 minutes.
And then it gets worse. Well, I don't know what is in that. What is in that briefcase that Shafir's carrying? Is that supposed to be the title, I guess, is supposed to be in there?
That's 3 copies of Swank magazine.
Okay, I was wondering.
That's what it is, and a pack of Big Red.
Cue up Darby Allin, because here he comes from the rafters, copying his favorite wrestler ever, Sting. He decides he's going to descend like he used to do back in the 90s, and this came off like a popcorn fart. They
hung a man last night. The Moxley Plumbing Company hung a man last night on live TV.
Oh my God!
Doesn't he look impressive? Doesn't he look like doesn't he look impressive? I'm trying to figure out. He looks like a remember Ken from the Barbie movie? He looks like a Ken Pinata. That's what he looks like.
Look at how lifeless he looks hanging there. He has, dude, at least straighten up as much as you can to look like you're coming in hot. He's like,
you know what would have been great? Don, you know what would have been great?
I don't.
It would have been great if Mortos, Roosh, and Dralistico came out with kendo sticks and just started taking wax at him. They get the candy out of him. That's what would have been fantastic.
Well, guess what happened? He comes down. They start fighting. He sort of gets on the desk at ringside. Did you see how fast that desk just fell apart once they hit it?
Disintegrated. They pulled the lock out, the lock bolt out, so it would fall apart. But it was I don't know.
It fell apart.
Shoddy construction. Shoddy construction ship, John.
What is with them and the tables falling apart anytime someone breathes on them? Can they not get this worked out right? They've been rigging tables since the dawn of time to break on cue, and these guys can't get this right. And I know the WWE had one happen a couple of months ago, but it's happening all the time in AEW.
It's the indies. It's a televised indie show is what it is. You think they got first-rate craftsmen there working at AEW? Of course not. They got people that the Young Bucks and Omega and all those guys recommend who don't know what they're doing. That's what's going on.
Anyway, into this thing, all the wrestlers backstage run out, including PP, and here come the Bucks to fight PP, and I said, nope. I am going to fast forward to the end of this. I refuse to watch anything the Bucks do. I had a feeling that the PP was going to win, and the PP won.
I was waiting for that Chili's manager that beat Moxley in the jiu-jitsu school. I was waiting for him to come out and save Orange Cassidy and PP and the whole crew. I mean, he could have fought off all of them.
We go back. I'm just going to start fast forwarding my notes here because it just doesn't get any better. Renee Baguette. She interviews Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter. They're going to have a match next. Jamie Hayter.
Penelope Ford. The little blonde guy, Kip Sabian, that's running around with Christian and family right now. Penelope Ford is his wife. They were both off TV for the longest time. I know she was hurt, but she hasn't been hurt for 2 years. They just didn't use her on TV. And now he's saying, everything I got, I'm putting out there is not working. Who do I have on the bench? I'll throw him out there, see if it works. That's what he's doing with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. When I say he, I mean the esteemed booker of AEW.
It's getting worse, and I said, okay, we get an MVP and Swerve segment, cool. We get a learning tree segment, which always gets a fast forward button. Big Bill starts off. Jericho, of course, cites his favorite guy, Dave Meltzer. I don't know why this is going on. It's a weird moment. He does the thanks God learning tree again. And I thought that the writer that they fired was the reason that this was going to get cut. And yet we're still doing it. So you can't shit in one hand and tell me that it's fine if you're still doing the thing that you fired the guy for. Which one?
They blame Jimmy Jacobs. They blame the writer Jimmy Jacobs, ex-wrestler, for all of this. That's why the Chris Jericho segments suck. Because of Jimmy Jacobs, the writer. Now, it's the execution of it.
The entire thing sucks. It's a bad idea on the face.
Horrible.
It's a bad idea in execution. Low Plains Drifter is great comedy, but he's not going to be taken seriously as a wrestler. Big Bill is completely out of case because he's a foot taller than any two of these dumbasses. It just looks horribly ridiculous. I'm off my soapbox. Then this was the moment of the night that really got my attention. because Daniel Garcia punks the shit out of Jack Perry. Did you see him literally punk him on air?
Twice.
Did it to him twice. Threw him against the wall. Jack Perry tried to retaliate and show he was a tough guy. And Garcia was like, not today. And look, you could say it was planned. If it was, it's a horrible decision. If it wasn't, he just punked the hell out of him. He really did jack him against the wall. And then we get the really weird thing where they open the door to the Bucks and they're shredding papers like Nixon in the 70s. And they're like, we got to talk. Let's get the hell out of here. We got to go. Why are they shredding papers? Why are they shredding papers? And it turns out one of the Bucks has got a separated shoulder or something. And that's apparently why they dropped the titles. Because he can't.
Otherwise, they never would have dropped those titles if he wasn't hurt. They would have had Private Party break up, and they would have been feuding back and forth, and a useless feud left on Rampage. They never would have been on Dynamite again. But now they're tag team champions. Everyone say, "Oh, it's so great that African American tag teams are now validated. They're the tag team champs." It's only because they were wrestling these guys at the time, and one Bucks hurt, and they took the belts off the Bucks and threw them. What do you think the Bucks were going to give the belts up that quick? The Private Party, of course not. They would give the belts up to Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, but not Private Party.
I'm not going to go into that. It sucked. I thought it was stupid.
That could be the next thing, Don. That could be the next thing. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley take on Private Party for the championship belts just right away.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think this is a PP moment that they're going to celebrate until the new year. I don't think you'll see PP drop it for a while. The PP is going to hold on.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay. Because your favorite girl, I'm just going to cover this quick. The CEO comes out, then Camille. Statlander comes out. Statlander wins, and then Moné scolds Camille and sends her to the back after attacking Statlander. That's all this match deserves. They're burying Camille. She is a huge woman. She has got an exotic look. I don't know if she can cut a promo to save her life. If she can, let her cut a promo. If she can't, get her a mouthpiece. But I believe she can wrestle. She looks like $1 million. And we are just going to ruin this every chance we get. That's how I felt about this entire match. They're ruining this at every opportunity.
Yes. Buried on her 6th match in the company. Her 6th match, they beat her. There are guys in professional wrestling that are powerhouses that only lose on the big shows. They stack
Brock Lesnar's,
Hogan's. Well, they were
Goldberg,
Savages, Goldberg, Drew McIntyre. Those
let's
guys
go ahead
are
and
going to
ruin her.
And just lose on a random edition of, I hate to compare WWE to AEW, but I mean, what else you got?
Don't have much because Christian Cage tells Hook to meet him next week. I will have the fast forward button handy. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. The super chat is open because
I'll have the fast forward button handy.
Because Renee Baguette
Sherry,
is now
pull the plug on the TV, Sherry. I've had enough.
Because Renee Baguette and Mark Briscoe are backstage. And man, I love Mark Briscoe. But this never-ending shit with Chris Jericho. You said my brother's name again. Come on, man. Can we move past this already? Is this a best of 3 series? Is that where we're going?
It's played out too much already. Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion. Just let it go. Have Mark Briscoe move on to another feud. Just let it go. Throw Jericho on Ring of Honor and let it go. Keep him on there. Don't bring him back to AEW Dynamite or any of the other shows. Not that I watch the other shows because I don't care. We got to watch Dynamite. Dynamite is just... Last night it moved at a glacial pace. It was like
I saw the Titanic crash during this show.
Dude.
Iceberg dead ahead!
Horrible.
I'm trying to fast forward this. The Bucks are leaving, and this is when you gave up after this. The Bucks are leaving. Old Man River screaming, "We need you." What is going on? The Cracker Clan is chasing them away. Then they start beating up the dude that they left behind, the whatever his name is.
Brandon, whatever his name is. Brandon, whatever. The guy used to
They
wear
hit
the
his
nose mask.
Yes, they hit him with the hammer. Why is Old Man River screaming, "We need you to the heel tag team"? I don't understand any of this, Bottles.
Two of the smallest guys in the promotion. You know where I'd be? I'd be banging on Jake Roberts' locker room saying, Lance Archer, Roosh, Mortos, we need you. We need you.
Anything.
Se habla inglés. Mortos, Goat Boy. We need you. It's just garbage.
I feel
give me Dollar Store Drew McIntyre. He could take out these guys.
I feel bad reviewing this, but I feel dirty now talking about it. Like, I feel dirty.
Because you were made to watch something that was repugnant to you. That's why. Repugnant.
It violated my wrestling senses. We get Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton is beating him. We all knew that. It was a good match. You knew Swerve was going to win in the end. It is what it is. Hold on here.
Right.
My dad thinks Adam Cole needs baby formula. Thank you, Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17. We appreciate the super chat. I don't even know if baby formula will put any weight on that guy, man. He needs whole milk at this point in time.
He needs to go to Chick-fil-A and drink about 5 of those banana
chocolate milkshakes. Yeah, get them things in you. Anyway, you knew Swerve was going to win this thing, and here comes Lashley, and I want to talk about this for a minute because Bobby Lashley is built like a Greek god. Agreed?
Yes.
Why would you have him come out in a full-on suit to attack this guy? Why would you not have him come out there in a muscle shirt and sweatpants to show off his physique, to show he's here to mean business? You got Pac running around the whole show without pants. My man is pantsless every time you see him.
Why
Everybody else
is
in blue
wearing
jeans.
his gear? Why don't they tell him? Why are you not wearing regular street clothes? You're last week in the middle of the salt flats of Utah in a pickup truck, and you're wearing wrestling tights and knee pads and boots, and you even got the black electrical tape around your biceps. What the hell is going on, Pac?
I
just
can't
don't
explain
understand
it.
Maybe he's on the cusp of a new wash cycle.
Have you noticed he looks like he's lost a lot of weight? And maybe it's just me, but he looks like he's off the cycle now. Like his size has greatly diminished. I'm not saying he's not in great shape, but you can tell to me he's lost some of that size he used to have. And it'll probably help in the long run. I was just wondering if you noticed that.
And none of his pants and t-shirts fit. We cracked the code, Don. We figured it out.
By God.
We figured it out.
By God, that's it.
We cracked the code.
Anyway, Bobby Lashley comes out. He kicks the shit out of Swerve. Then he proceeds to kick the shit out of everybody that comes down the ring and showing off there. And I was thankful for it. And I went to bed and screamed in my pillow for about an hour.
I turned it off. I turned it off when Swerve and Shelton Benjamin locked up. I just said, okay, I'm done. I have no desire to see anybody coming out. I don't know where this is going to go. I do not care. I do not care. Why do they always have to have black wrestlers face black wrestlers? They did it with the New Day. They did it when the Hurt Business was in.
I don't get that. I don't get that either. They do it in both companies. I don't get that.
They do it in both companies.
It's odd to me. I don't get that.
Very odd. Very odd.
Anyway, that covers that. I'm not going to keep going into this. I do want to cover Crown Jewel because that is this Saturday, Bottles. The matches that no one asked for, but we're getting it anyway because the Saudis have hundreds of billions of dollars. And by God, they're going to get Roman Reigns versus the Usos in the Bloodline. Who wins, Bottles, and why?
Roman Reigns and the Usos. They're not going to have Roman win right away. They're saving that for Survivor Series. That's what they're going to do. They're going to have Roman and the Usos win a Survivor Series. They're going to have 3 against 3. Don't know what the combination is going to be on the new Bloodline side. One man outside the ring, and there'll be a lot of interference.
Okay.
And then you're going to see Sami Zayn appear. I think you're going to see Sami Zayn appear. Whose side is he on?
I think you're going to see Brock Lesnar return.
I know you're definitely going to see The Rock return.
At this one?
He was at SmackDown last week. They taped two. This episode,
yes, they did tape him.
SmackDown,
Yes.
This Friday is pre-recorded. They taped a doubleheader last Friday, and The Rock returned at the doubleheader, the show that's going to appear this Friday. I saw that on Twitter.
I believe the Bloodline is going to win over Roman Reigns. That's how I feel. That's what I think is going to happen.
Wait a minute, which Bloodline?
The new Bloodline over Roman Reigns.
The new Bloodline. I think you have to say it that like right.
Yeah. I did say that.
You said the Bloodline. There's two Bloodlines.
The new Bloodline. I said that right after. Pay attention.
Okay. All right. I am paying attention.
I wish. Now that's what I think is going to happen.
I watched 2 hours of garbage last night. Okay, you made me watch 2 hours of crap. Okay.
What I wish they would do was have a schmoz finish. That's what I wish would happen. Where guys run to the ring, it ends in a no contest. Guys spot all over the place, and they end it that way with a big return. That's what I wish they would do.
On this pay-per-view Saturday, where does this match fit? Main event or opening match?
Ooh, I'd probably have it as the opening match.
I wouldn't. I would have this as the main event. I would have Cody and Gunther as the opening match.
I would have them as the main event.
Cody and Gunther?
Yes, let's talk about that now. Who wins and why?
I would say Gunther wins.
Why?
Because when he finally take that belt off of him, he's still going to have that crown jewel belt that he'll walk out to the ring with all the time. Somebody's going to take that belt off him.
I think he's going to win because there's outside interference from Kevin Owens. That's why I think he wins. Kevin Owens screws Randy.
Yeah, right. And they say Goldberg's not going to be there. They say Goldberg is not going to be there. But if you can believe it, it all comes from the usual sources.
I think Randy Orton gets put in an angle where he gets hurt. Let's talk about that match. I think Randy Orton gets hurt because of Kevin Owens breaking the rules. He loses at a DQ. They write off Randy Orton for the next several months to let him recharge his batteries. The word on the street is, the streets is saying that Randy Orton's going home for a few months anyway. That's what the word on the street is. So that's how you write him off TV, in my opinion. Who wins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, in your opinion?
Kevin Owens wins through shady circumstances, be it a DQ or just, roll of quarters in the fist, whatever. Kevin Owens wins through DQ or a count out or what have you. Randy Orton may not be able to continue. I don't know, but that's how they'll do it.
Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Who wins and why, and where does it go from here?
I think that. That's the first time they've had a match, right? First time they had a match.
It's their first official match, yeah.
I would say Bronson Reed. He breaks the rules. Beat down on Seth Rollins. Tsunami. They got to run out and stop him. Seth Rollins gets put on the shelf for a few weeks.
I would agree with you. I think this sets up somehow them having a blow-off match I think this is going to be the third match at Saturday night's main event. That's what I think you're going to see headline Saturday night's main event.
When are they having Saturday night's main event? December?
It's on a Saturday.
In December, though, right?
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, not this Saturday or next Saturday. No, I know it's going to be on a Saturday. By what month?
That's called a way homer, pal. That's called a way homer. Don't get surly, Don.
You made me watch 2 hours of garbage last night.
All right, so we agree. I think this is going to end up with him having another match at Survivor Series. I think Bronson Reed wins this one by shady means. That gives the babyface legit bitch. I'm moving on. LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. We both agree LA Knight retains. Agreed?
I don't think so. I think there's going to be a title change.
I want to bang my head through things now. Who do you think wins?
Andrade.
God, I hope
that's what I think.
Women's tag team match: Bianca Jade versus Damage Control versus Metaphor versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I could care less who wins this clusterflop. I could care less.
That's anyone's match right there, I think. You could say they might put it on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green just for craps and giggles. They could do that. Bianca and Jade. When's that split going to take place? When are they gonna do that?
That's what we all keep wondering. I don't know. I really just do not care about this match, if I'm being honest. Nothing about it appeals to me.
I hear you. I can't believe they're bringing Metaphor in. Are they those two? What's her name? Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. I can't believe they're bringing them up. And they're still in NXT, but they're moving up to the main roster.
What if they win though? That'd be wild, right? If they won and their first thing they win, that
would be amazing. And they could go into the big show on Wednesday night, the NXT show, as the ladies tag team champs, and they could pop a rating by having a rematch.
They could on Wednesday night. On Wednesday night, toe-to-toe in a rematch on NXT. Bottles, I think we might have booked the show on that one. That makes all the sense in the world. Let's pop a rating against our competition. So, yeah.
We'll have Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson against, and who would they put them against? They will put them against Jade and Bianca.
Exactly, because those are stars. Well, that covers Crown Jewel. That covers our show for today. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We should have, I think we're going to do a show Monday because Tuesday is Get Out and Vote Day. So I think we'll do a show Monday versus Tuesday next week. What do you think?
Whatever you want to do, Doc.
I think that sounds like a plan. I want to thank you all for watching. And I know one guy that never forgot to vote.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.
I'm back. Just kidding.